Fucking Pokemon movies. Jesus. I'm Max.
I'm Andrew.
I'm Mams.
I'm Ted.
I'm Thomas.
You guys didn't get the alphabetical order right. It's supposed to be K, then Mams.
No.
Can you try again?
No.
And we're the foundation for the eradication of Gen 5 Pokemon. You can follow us on various social medias by scanning that QR code. And we are here to talk about all... Jesus Christ, how many Pokemon movies are there again, Thomas?
Like 23 with Ash.
All 23 Pokemon movies. Of course, starting with the one that got this whole thing rolling. Pokemon, the first Pokemon movie. So...
All right. So who had that one?
Yeah, who...
I didn't do it.
I thought that was yours.
Oh.
Not me.
Wait. So no one's talking about the Dragonite that takes Ash to Epstein's Island?
No, it's probably best not to talk about this one. We'll just leave it for nostalgia because that's the only reason it's the number one rated Pokemon movie.
We did a Pokemon movie panel. We didn't even talk about the first movie.
No.
No.
Because that's the one people actually know. We want to talk about the ones they don't know.
Okay.
But I guess, is there anything close to the first one? Like maybe
I
has
have
Mewtwo?
Mewtwo.
Oh,
I
okay.
have Mewtwo.
Let's go with that one.
Okay.
Okay. But before we get into Mewtwo, I have to introduce you guys to Feminism 101, the Bechdel test. And for those of you who do not know what that is, basically it's the definitive scientific way of determining how feminist a movie is. All it requires is that at least two women talk to each other with more than like one conversation, and it's not about a man. And like, I'm sure you guys think this is a low bar, but only 4 Pokemon movies pass the Bechdel test. On that note, Mewtwo returns. So, we kind of start with a 5-minute summary of the first movie, which is not a good look. I mean, the conclusions you can draw from a movie wasting its runtime, like just talking about another movie is... Actually, you get a pass, Pokemon. I did like seeing that again. So, where we actually start, and it starts slow. The plot starts really slow, but we learn a lot. Like your trusty frying pan is also a dragon.
Wait. Is that cast iron? I feel like you shouldn't get that much water on it.
As long as he cures it afterwards, it's fine.
Oh, okay.
So, we also learn that you can pass the Bechdel test with 2 completely secondary characters. And we learn that there's a cabin that has immediate access to miracle water, which absolutely will not be repeated at least every 5 minutes. We also learn that Brock needs to be put on a list. I mean, like, among the women he flirts with, I'm pretty sure at least one of them is a minor. So, put this man in jail. So, I'm sure you're all wondering, where does the plot actually start, and what is the plot? And that's a great question. The plot starts about halfway through, and blame Giovanni. Got it? No? Great. Because what we apparently need to focus on is the fact Mewtwo and his clone buddies have set up an Amish colony. Not because we are shown, but because Meowth is like the biggest nerd who loves exposition. So we actually get a whole philosophy YouTuber presentation. What is strength? What is weakness? Why should we prove we deserve to exist? And, like any other sanctimonious YouTuber, he goes right into Christ allegory.
He's being canceled because he's upset about female design in video games.
But fortunately, Ash uses tackle, which it's not very effective. So after Mewtwo gets nearly completely murdered, Ash realizes he has other fighting type skills, so he uses Carry. Did I say Carry? I meant Flynn. Because nothing heals a Pokemon like drowning them. But Mewtwo kind of leans into the Jesus bit really hard and beats up the capitalist rocket machine and literally teleports the entire lake underground for fun and no side effects whatsoever.
And on that absolutely fun note, we're going to move on to Lucario and Mr. Mew, otherwise known as the guy with a really nice hat. Like, look at that hat. Seriously, I would love to own that hat. Anyway, we're introduced to Sir Aaron and Lucario, so Sir Aaron's a human, that's, in the middle of a massive battlefield. Sir Aaron tells Lucario, hey, I'm out of here, but instead of inviting Lucario to come with him, he very rudely ends a relationship by trapping him into this kind of fancy-looking staff, and then completely ghosts Lucario by, becoming a ghost. jump to present day with Ash dressing as the hero of the town and winning this Pokemon competition that gets gifted the staff that Lucario's trapped in. Just give her a historical relic to a 10-year-old. That always goes well. And because Ash has the same aura, this totally releases Lucario from the staff. And Lucario, obviously, is not very happy about it. Oh, right. Total side
Wait,
note
so
to
are you
that.
guys having trouble hearing? Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Am I fine?
Use one of these. Sorry, everybody. If you have trouble hearing, just like throw a hand up so we can catch that.
Yeah, the mics are not friendly.
Is that better? Yes,
good.
cool.
Good. Okay.
Do you want, go back a couple of slides.
Okay.
Just
Then Sir Aaron. Okay. So present day, Ash dresses as the hero of the town, wins this Pokemon competition, and gets gifted the staff that Lucario's trapped in. Because who wouldn't give a historical relic to a 10-year-old? Totally makes sense. So because Ash has the same aura, this releases Lucario, who's obviously very not happy about the situation. And then total jump note, while this whole Lucario drama is going on, while this drama is going on, Pikachu ends up meeting Mew, and then abruptly gets kidnapped by Mew. You think Mew's just the cutest Pokemon ever? Wrong. Cruel, unfeeling Pokenapper. Anyway, the crew goes to find Mew and Pikachu, and then we get a lot of Lucario and Aaron flashbacks. You know, just to kind of slam home the message that Lucario's been really, betrayed by people, just in general. There's absolutely no other questionable reasons at all. Just betrayal. That's all, I swear. Anyway, Ash and Pikachu eventually reunite, but more importantly, Ash gets killed, which highlight of the movie. Even Mew's house knows that Ash is an absolutely terrible guest, and so his house is like, no, I'll take care of this, let me get Ash out of here. But Pikachu is a total drama queen about this and begs to get Ash back, and so does, but that pisses off Mew's house and starts it all self-destructing. Because of this whole self-destructing issue, Lucario ends up learning that Sir Aaron didn't betray him. He trapped him to save him, which is kind of sweet. And Lucario now does the same thing to save everyone else and reunite with Aaron. And once again, Ash is completely useless, and we learn it's okay to give a dog Pokemon chocolate.
All right.
Well, I think Aaron was trying to kill Lucario, and now he's back to finish the job.
All right. You guys can hear me, right? Good. All right, so now we have Pokemon Destiny Deoxys. This one starts out real political really fast because Rayquaza does not support immigration for aliens. He immediately unloads Hyper Beam as soon as Deoxys crosses the border. But he leaves the battle off to his Trump rally, very satisfied, but he didn't know Deoxys knows Recover. Only it's really slow Recover that takes like 15 years. So Rayquaza needs to recover and then go off to the immigration center to find his long-lost brother. So now we jump to the main locale of our city, La Rousse City, the city of the future. Sorry, not that future. The good future. You know it's the good future because they have wind power, people movers outside of the airport, and everyone's jobs have been taken by robots. So we meet a child who has some big Pokemon trauma issues. What does Ash do? Immediately tries to force his kid to go face to face with his trauma over and over. So the kid runs away. So this causes Ash to try to pick a fight with him. Isn't Ash such a great person? So they realize they haven't really done a plot, because bullying a child isn't a good look. So they go full...
I love bullying children.
So they go full invasion of the body snatchers. You know, Deoxys starts abducting people. Everyone has to hide and scavenge for food. And then Deoxys finds his brother at the detention center, lets him out of the cage, and everything's chill. But the movie's still not enough runtime, so Rayquaza's back to finish the job as an ice agent. And then city robots start going crazy and starts drowning everyone. Then Deoxys and his brother save Rayquaza from the Cube Cops, and now he's really cool with aliens. They just need to steal somebody else's job and not his.
Wait. You guys didn't like those movies?
It was okay, but I mean...
I think I gave it like a 1.5.
I mean,
box.
Pokemon movies are good. You have to trust me.
Debatable.
Not that one, though. Not that
Who did this one again?
Dude, that's you.
Yeah, we made you do all the Gen 5 movies because you love Gen 5 so much.
I just spent an hour on this shit.
I know. That's why we're going to make you spend more on it.
So this movie starts with Keldeo undergoing a training montage before challenging his 3 friends to a game of who can kick my ass the hardest. He wins. He gets his ass kicked the hardest in all 3 matches. And, proud with his victory, he's decided he's going to go out and fight Kiram, and it goes pretty well. His 3 friends are all killed in the process to save this whiny little bitch. At this point, he finds the only whinier, littler bitch in the world. That's, of course, Ash. And then supplants him as the character for the movie, which I thought was pretty cool. I don't care about Ash, but the plot of this was just, can Keldeo fix his horn so he can finally get his first boner? And at that point, I miss Ash.
So, I'm gonna talk about a movie all of us really liked, right?
I hate that little thing. It's so annoying.
By that little thing, you're talking about Shaman.
No,
right?
you.
Unfortunately, yes.
I'm talking about you.
Too late. It's too late to get rid of it. No. Anyways, I present to you Shaman, an unfortunate history. It starts with Ash, Dawn, and Brock having a wholesome pancake brunch, with Ash being a little shit and refusing to wash his hands. That's when Shaman arrives and asks everyone to help him find the flower garden.
That's my garden.
It's your best accomplishment.
How'd you get a picture of my garden?
Don't think about that. Anyways, I'm used to this move as well, but Shaman kind of just annoys them till it gets what it wants.
Like giving this panel?
Yeah.
Sorry, like giving this panel? There we go.
Yeah. The rest of the movie is a nice little vacation through Poke Norway, where they face many challenges, such as a massive snake in a reverse world. They're then saved by your average geology professor, and
Wait, the geology professor, is he still here? No, he left.
he may not be there, but is there anyone here who looks like this? This is the villain. And this guy, Zero, he actually had a digital wife before it was cool.
It's cool?
It's never cool.
Anyways, they go to the flower garden eventually, but oh no, Zero's back to cause ecological disaster. But thanks to the help of Garatina, Mamo Swine, and Regidaddy, Regigigas, they're able to stop everything. And after that, Shaman kind of just fucks off, 8 out of 10.
It's an assembly line. Just hit it again.
We're good.
There we go.
So,
They're so easy.
It's just nostalgia.
Yeah, it has to be nostalgia.
I'm so sorry for your guys' taste, because I haven't looked into this. Okay, so the plot of Power 1 is super simple. As in real life, the bad guys are rich boy TCG collector who decides, I think it'd be fun to start a territory war. So what's his plan? His plan is to capture all the imperialist bird Pokemon with polygons. This will make all the non-captured ones go to war, and then while they're fighting, Lugia will stage some good old-fashioned interventionalism to keep the others in check. And then he can catch Lugia, with the polygon. And the only one who can stop him is a prophesized 10-year-old. Just kidding. The prophecy kind of leaves out the fact that Pikachu carries the whole team. And, Pikachu literally gives him the instructions the whole time. And so while Pikachu's saving the world, we actually have women talk to each other. I mean, they're humble bragging while on a 50-foot wave, which is, they're flirting. Let's be real. They're flirting. I mean, look, they hold hands. I would write fanfic about it. I have to talk. Because I have to talk about environmental catastrophe. Because, a tropical ocean literally freezes over. I mean, I was kind of okay with it for a little bit because, we get so close to Ash dying. So close. But Pokemon's a tease, and he's brought back. Thanks, Misty. So with such dire straits, what are we supposed to do? The answer's simple. Music saves the day, which is a life lesson for all of us in the real world, for sure. Because music is the cure for everything, even wealthy ambitions, even imperialism.
Yeah.
And on that bright note, apparently there's even more nostalgia tripping in here, because I'm also going to rip into this one. Because this one stars with people on a very questionable path in life. So on to the third Pokemon movie, Entei and the Secrets of the Unknown. So we start with some family friends of the captains and Professor Oak. The little girl's name is Molly. We see her a lot in this movie. Now, here's the really important part. Molly's mom, don't really care. She's dead. We never really see her again. And her dad, lost to gang violence. Really early in the movie. So, like any normal kid, she Googles how to get a new dad. And actually, she gets one, which is surprising. Go Google. Now, Molly's got this new dad, but like we mentioned before, she's got no mom, and she wants, your fairy tale family. So after enough pestering, she convinces her dad to get her a new mom. Enter the best, most tolerable mom in the series, Mrs. Ketchum, who just happens to be watching the news and see all this weirdness and remember, oh hey, I know that family. I should go see what's up. So Molly's dad runs off to retrieve her mom. Courts her using the usual methods of, hypnotization and just straight up kidnapping, and brings her back to their house.
Can we discuss how Entei's showing up on like beds of ice?
Yeah, it's really weird.
It's a fire type.
Yeah, no, this Entei is super questionable. Yeah, this is like fake Entei. It's really weird. This movie's
Actually, I think those are crystals because it goes to a crystal cup.
Anyway, the important part is that Mrs. Ketchum is totally, approving of the situation. She's okay with it, which means this is all totally all right. Forget the fact she's hypnotized. And I mean, honestly, they're kind of a cute family. It's a little weird, and sure, Molly takes more after her mom than her dad, but this is not the weirdest blended family I've seen across all the anime I've had to consume. So we're just gonna go with it. But Ash hates this because, screw Sherry, because he's an adult and handles this like a mature person. And so he resolves it like he does every other Pokemon, like every other problem he deals with in the Pokemon world, with a Pokemon battle. Divorce? Be a Pokemon battle. Sure, why not? And because it's Ash, he wins, destroying the heart and wishes of Molly, and absolutely Mufasing and Tank, and we don't even get an almost Ash death in payment, so I call BS on this movie.
All right. Next up, we have the next movie, which is Jirachi and the Wishmaker. Not that one. Yeah, this one. Yeah, so this one, they were tired of Ash always being the chosen one, so they let Max here be the chosen one this time. So only he gets to be friends with Jirachi, and only he gets the wishes.
Yeah.
Only he can only wish for candy for some reason. And then the very classy good guy turns out to actually be the bad guy. Wow, shocking. And he uses the wish power to try to revive Groudon, and instead of just wishing for a Groudon. Okay. So after chasing the heroes for like 30 minutes, he finally gets Jirachi again, and then actually revives Groudon. Only it's Primal Groudon. This is 10 years before Omega Ruby, so they knew they were going to do that. And it has tentacle powers, because of course it does. Yay, anime.
I've seen enough.
Yeah, once he takes the bad guy's girlfriend, then the bad guy turns good, and then he has to help stop it. And by stopping it, they mean blow it up and send it into space.
This one doesn't pass the Bechdel test, does it?
Absolutely not. So everyone's saved. Jirachi turns back into a rock. It was pretty boring. And then the singing, oh goodness. They have the cast sing a song by pausing the video for like 20 seconds in this frame. I get budget constraints, but geez, guys, come on.
Yeah, I don't know.
It was terrible. If only it teleported Ash away.
Did you see what Jirachi did to that poor food truck owner? Absolutely despicable.
So, next, because we do not have time to argue with you, I'm sorry. Next, we have this one, Genesect.
So who gets this one?
Hold on, wait.
What?
Genesect is mine.
Why is it yours?
We talked about this.
Why?
Because that Genesect had a total thing for Ash.
Like he literally rides a Pokemon?
Yes.
Yeah,
exactly.
but it's not a Pokemon though, it's a Zoid.
No, it's a Pokemon.
This is where we would solve it with the Beyblade battle, but I forgot the Beyblades in my hotel room.
So, which means you get stuck.
So pretend I lost the Beyblade battle, which is why I have to talk about Genesect, the legend goes back to sleep. Oh, just an absolutely thrilling film we have here. So everyone was really upset to be involved, obviously. This movie starts with the Genesect being awakened. Wow. Billions of years after being alive and shoved into robot battle armor. Their first reaction is to try to reclaim their homeland. So they do a colonization where they just show up in the local park, plant a flag, and be like, this land is mine now. God gave this land to me, this brave and ancient land to me. So all of the Pokemon obviously fight back. And this is a huge faux pas. Because while we already know Crustle and Seismitoad are not Pokemon, through affiliation in this film, it means we have to un-Pokemon favorites such as Wooper, Surskit, hate crimes like Lotad, and of course everyone's favorite, the flat fuck himself Feraligatr. None of them are Pokemon anymore because they were in this movie. In other news, Ash solves racism by befriending the Genesect, but actually I don't think that really works because Ash is a trainer, therefore he's in a position of power, so racism is solved onto Ash. I don't know what's going on. Mewtwo's there, which is pretty cool. He takes Genesect and just tries to yeet him into space. His plan is that if Genesect can see the curvature of the Earth, he'll realize that we are all just a small blue dot wandering aimlessly throughout the universe. And, maybe he'll have respect for life in the planet that we call home. It was William Shatner's plan with Jeff Bezos. And we all know how that worked for Jeff Bezos. Fortunately, it did work for Genesect. He's a chill dude now. So, not a Pokemon, but a chill dude.
That movie was awful.
Yeah.
Can I talk about one of the best ones?
What's great is you were surprised we came up with content for it.
Yeah. That movie made me feel nothing. Pokemon, the movie I Choose You, is a breath of fresh air into the series. It takes place in a new universe, a wholesome one, a one where all the abuse didn't happen. I mean, as much as we love retconning Misty slapping the shit out of Ash out of existence, the ramifications this has, absolutely massive. For example, Misty, not even in this thing. Neither is Gary or Brock. Who replaces such memorable characters? Why, it's the Gen 4 squad. You can see Sorrel and his Lucario, Verity, and her Piplup. Yes, I didn't read the notes. I do know the names by heart. And this is just an admittance that Gen 4 is like the third most important Pokemon generation after the first two. And also, who replaces the edgy rival? It's Cross, who kicks a Charmander, so that's pretty cool.
So it's Damien.
It's Damien,
Yeah, it's Damien.
From then on, Ash goes to sleep and has the weirdest dreams. Here's the most unnecessarily tragic backstory of all time. Meets an old man, climbs a mountain, and versus a marketable plushie. And then this happens. If you don't know what I'm talking about, watch the movie.
It completely invalidated the movie. That's what it did.
It did.
The guts they had to do that, though. Anyways, I love this movie. 11 out of 10.
So what you failed to mention is that movie lasted forever, which coincidentally, this movie also lasted forever. You guys are so easy. So we start this movie with an important lesson for kids. You take blood from strangers, you get thrown into the future, and everyone you know and love is dead. We also learned that True Evil is a total edgelord, uses next level performance enhancement, which are Pokeballs with 99 evil rare candies inside. But we actually don't get to worry about that edgelord too much because we're gonna focus on the time traveling kid who takes the inevitable death of everyone he knows and loves really well. I honestly think it's because he's able to get vaccinated. I also think it's because he has the biggest crush on Ash. And you guys think I'm joking, but they have a radish son now. And they literally, instead of plot, they just play with their radish son. And I mean, I don't really need to elaborate on the rest of the plot. It's exactly what you'd expect if Princess Mononoke and Nausicaa had a love child where the third member of the polycule was Arceus. And I honestly think it's Arceus who wanted Jessie tied up with divine tentacles.
Well, I think the fourth member of the polycule was Hokusai.
But even with the mind tentacles, I hate to tell you, it still passes the Bechdel test, which I'm pretty sure is the key to the influence here. Anyway, like those movies, things get resolved with near death, reincarnation, and everything back to where it was. Which unfortunately means the kid can't stay in the timeline that isn't his, so he doesn't get to date Ash. But you know what he can do? He can flirt with Ash's mom. That's right, plot twist, the kid is Professor Oak.
We really know, like, this is the most telling one for you all to be super into.
Right?
I think we know why.
We know exactly
Not
why.
a good look.
Okay. So we're gonna move on to Pokemon Heroes, the movie. We start with a museum heist for information regarding this like super powerful weapon. And our thieves are named, why can't they come up with good names just once? Annie and Oakley. Sure. Anyway, they pull some 007 type BS and steal this book. Right, side quest. They also need to capture Latios and Latios for Giovanni. Just capture two legendaries like it's no big deal. Everyone can do that, right? We shortcut to the streets of Altamar, where they're basically having a speed boat competition, but with Pokemon. Surprising, absolutely no one on this panel. Ash cheats in this, but he loses anyway, so we're just gonna let it go.
He used a Corsola. You're not going to win a race with a
No,
Corsola.
Misty's Corsola. He used Tonadile, who was being a stupid idiot the entire race and had to cheat.
Oh, sorry, you covered Misty. I guess she doesn't
No one
matter.
likes her, it's fine.
Okay.
Anyway, as per the norm, Ash runs into a legendary Pokemon by complete accident because, yes, this is a Pokemon. Because that's just a friggin' thing now.
Their
Anyway,
lips are way too close.
right? That's exactly. But he helps her out, so it's fine. So Latias ends up trusting him and leads him to the super secret sanctuary that no one is supposed to know about. And it's here that we meet Bianca, who is the girl that Latios happens to be copying. And Latios, who's with her, doesn't like Ash, which, surprise, no one likes Ash. But Latios, on the other hand, kind of likes using him as their playmate, like completely plaything. It's honestly kind of cute how much she pushes him around and he just takes it. Which, you know, I'm okay with that.
I know what that's like.
Yeah, I think they're doing it in a different way than we push you around.
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh.
Anyway, because of Ash, Annie and Oakley find the sanctuary, kidnap Latios and torture the poor thing, take the soldier that runs this giant secret weapon, nearly explode the said weapon, and cause a tidal wave to nearly take out the city. But, you know, resolving all that just ends up killing off Latios. The only Latios in existence. There is no other one. There is no, like, Pokemon egg to bring another one back. Just dead because Ash was a dumbass and led them to the secret sanctuary. But no one cares because Ash gets kissed by Bianca. Latias. Or is it Bianca? We actually don't know.
Beatius.
Yeah, we actually don't know
Bianca.
if it's the girl or the Pokemon, but I'm going with the Pokemon because that's way more fun.
All right.
Plot twist, it's Latios.
Next up, we have my favorite Pokemon movie that I watched, Pokemon Up. In this Pokemon movie, our protagonist, Carl, decides he's finally 10 years old and ready to go on his Pokemon adventure. He catches his first Pokemon, a scout type named Russell, and then goes to the brand new region of South America. Like every Pokemon trainer, he then finds himself challenged by a good rival, Charles Muntz. So Carl's been building a good semi-balanced team. Like, he's got a ground type, a scout type, 2 flying types. Where Muntz is going for, like, the gym leader approach, where he's got 5 fighting types and then the 1 flying type.
No, that's a fire type. It's a Zeppelin.
Even outnumbered, Carl has managed to pull off a good victory, and it ends in truly a climatic battle. It was great.
So you gotta watch we gotta watch.
Yeah, Pokemon Up, yeah.
No, it's just up.
I mean, I had to watch something good to get all these terrible movies out of my mouth.
I mean,
Movies are
wait,
great.
if we can
Pokemon
do...
movies are my favorite.
Shut the
Not
fuck
that-
up, Thomas. If we're allowed to do, like, presentations about movies we like, I would just do 100 slides on hundreds of beavers. But I can't.
He had a Pokemon team.
I had to watch Zoroark Master Evolution. You think I'm happy about that?
Yes?
Yeah, probably.
I wasn't. I got bored. All I remember is that the Dartling gun is really good in Balloons Tower Defense 6. I had to watch the movie again. So Zoroark is all about some guy who made a demonic pact to gain the power to see the future, and used that power to create a fascist media company. You know, instead of solving climate change or something. Of Problem is, Celebi is coming back to collect on her debts. So instead of repaying her, his plan is to just destroy the rainforest. Because he thinks that'll stop Celebi once and for all. It probably would, let's be honest. So he releases Zorak into town and then shows it a hologram of its child to make it distressed and have it go feral. This allows our villain to just deluge everybody with some really weird bullshit talking points on his news network to get them to stay locked in their homes and voting Republican so they can feel safe. And while they're all doing that, he just goes around town looking for Celebi. And he finds him. Kodai kidnaps Celebi and discovers that hurting it basically works like drinking the water of life in Dune. So this man just tortures some blue juice out of Celebi, drinks it, can see the future, and the golden path he chooses is the one that gets embodied by a 10-year-old. You'd think he could figure that out. He's forced to confess his crimes on national television, but I think we all know how much that would actually do. He's probably president right now.
Pokemon, the movie The Power of Us, is in the same universe as I Choose You and takes place in Fula City, which is basically Poke San Francisco. So, in other words, it's the best Pokemon movie. Another reason why it's the best Pokemon movie, Ash isn't the main character. Instead, we have a completely new cast of ensemble characters, such as a post-injury athlete. I know all you post-injury athletes look like this. Don't lie to me. The mayor's daughter, a socially awkward scientist, not Clayton, the other one, a traumatized old lady, and finally, we have a con man. And you may be thinking, what about the mythical who's literally on the poster? Well, it's in it for about 20 minutes of the whole movie, so it's not even about that either. Most of the movie is just Ash and his friends hanging out at a festival. I honestly, and I mean honestly, couldn't recommend this one enough for a wholesome, relaxed hangout movie, you and a bunch of friends, just something chill to calm the nerves. And then a bioweapon goes off. I'm not joking. The rest of the movie is Poke Chernobyl. Overall, it's the best Pokemon movie. It's more like The Power of 10 out of 10. God, I love Pokemon movies.
I mean, you're just showing your full ass with these scores. No. I should be putting my letterboxes up here.
So, now we have Pokemon Ranger. Yeah! Sorry, Temple of the Sea. Our new ally in this quest is this guy. He's a Pokemon Ranger. Cool guys like him use Beyblades to capture Pokemon. And he's also a part-time clown, which automatically makes him cool, apparently. And he's really just here to provide exposition all the time. Basically, he's here to counteract this guy, who's he couldn't decide if he wanted to be Team Magma, Team Aqua, or a pirate, so he kind of just went with all three. So after we meet these guys, we return back to Ash and friends, who are so pathetic that a traveling water circus decides just to let them tag along and be part of their show. There winds up being a lot of shenanigans just jammed together that involves a secret temple, a Manaphy egg, and treasure, and everyone wants a piece of it. I mean, it's super cluttered, but at least they passed the Bechdel test. I mean, there's more than 2 women in this whole movie, which is unprecedented. But also, most importantly, May becomes a mom. The story continues, but what's more important than an ancient civilization? Bracelets that open doors, and the suspicion that this pirate guy committed murder? That's right, May going through all the steps of motherhood, like being a neglectful parent. Anyway, while May's trying to act like a proper mom, we kind of go from midday drama to Legend of Zelda's Water Temple. We get impractical architecture. We get vague instructions. We get weird mechanisms that make literally no sense. We get near drownings. I mean, we've got it all. I mean, guess not at all, since Ash doesn't technically drown, and he kind of wins with the power of the chaos. But I have one more thing, I have a correction. So, you know how I said that this movie passes the Bechdel test? Well, I mean, it's kind of weird that the only girl in Ash's group becomes a mom. She already wasn't stuck mothering 3 men. And like, instead of saving the day and her child, she gets to just chill in a metal box while Ash gets the fun. So I'm gonna say that this movie gets its feminism card absolutely revoked. Which coincidentally means one of the panelists loved it. And
No, don't look at that. Don't look at that one. Don't look at that one. Don't look at that one.
Wait. You didn't mention the best part of the movie.
Which was that?
When we watched it, it was announced that Henry Kissinger finally fucking died. 5 out of 5, best fucking film.
Anyway, we're gonna move on to Secrets of the Jungle.
Is this a movie about the environment that escaped his wrath?
Is this the movie about evil pharmaceuticals?
Both, kind of. Anyway, so now we have Secrets of the Jungle, otherwise known as Disney's The Legend of Coco. And I am not kidding, this movie is nearly a shot for shot of Tarzan. Maybe with like a dash of Avatar for flavor, but like, that's it. That's the movie. Like, all these screenshots are absolutely not photoshopped from Tarzan and Pokemon overlaps. These are just straight from that Pokemon movie. Like, you've seen those Disney movies and you've seen Avatar, don't bother watching this one because that's all it is.
All right, now we got Dark Ride. Yeah. This one starts out with the whole MCU Civil War kind of moment. Dialga versus Palkia. They exist in separate games, so they're never supposed to be able to cross past outside of your Pokebox. So as soon as they see each other, they immediately have to fight to death because only one of them is getting invited to Smash Brothers. So Dialga gets a really good hit, manages to injure Palkia, proving once and for all, time is better than space. It's why you never seem to have time to clean up all that space called your room. So, moving on from those two for now, we get to the main cast of the movie. We have the normal Ash, Brock, and the female this season, Dawn. And then we get new characters like Alice, who has hair that looks like Lot Bunny, and I know what the fandom thinks of Lot Bunny, so yeah, the fandom loves her too. And then we have Alberto, who styles himself after a Lick-Licky. I'm not sure if the allegations have come out yet, but I'm sure they will soon. And then we have Tonia, who styled himself after an Electrode once it used self-destruct. And of course, with 3 new characters, we get a proper love triangle. Alberto, really into Alice. Alice, really into Tonio. Tonio, really loves getting bullied by Alberto. And just like every love triangle, Brock's really into everyone. So then Darkrai shows up, and he knows the Battle Royale is going to go down here, so he's trying to tell them. Unfortunately, he's a big emo and can only communicate by screaming, "Go away," and dragging people into nightmares. So he drags Ash into a nightmare, whose nightmare is just him being alone, because I guess he just wants to annoy other people that badly.
I can relate.
At least the other people have reasonable nightmares, like being turned into a Pokemon or having to get a real job. So, of course, they think Darkrai's the bad guy and try to kill him immediately. But lo and behold, Dialga and Palkia show up, they choose the Alamos town stage, and they turn on destructible environments. So now the whole town's in a pocket dimension, and it's falling apart. Rapture's here. But luckily, the inventor or the creator of the town, some super genius, had an inkling that those 2 specific legendaries might fight in his town one day. So he found a song that calms Pokemon and then built a giant tower dedicated to those 2 very specific legendaries that could play music. So the rest of the movie is just Ash and crew finding said magical music tapes, starting their own pirate radio station, and dying like 16 times almost.
See, I told you, music solves everything.
Yeah. So music plays, and it's obviously not the right soundtrack for a battle royale, so Dialga and Palkia go their separate ways. Everything goes back to normal, but Darkrai really didn't do much, so why did they name the movie after him? They should have just named the movie like Pokemon and the Magical Music Towers.
Missed the most disturbing part of that movie.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about Darkrai's legs.
Yeah. Stop sexualizing Darkrai. Which one of these did we do again?
I don't remember, Max. This was your movie.
Let's check the notes. Those don't really help.
I think we lost.
Maybe if I read the synopsis, that'll. Jesus Christ.
Oh.
Who wrote that much about that fucking? Maybe. Let's check my letterbox. Okay. We watched White. Got it. So I don't remember a lot about this movie, and there's no way in hell I'm gonna rewatch it. But what I do know is it committed the same goddamn sin like half of the Pokemon films did. The villain has a spaceship. Well, a space castle, an airship, I don't know, a floating castle. Just goes around in his floating castle, summons some shapes, uses them to capture the legendary Pokemon. because I guess legendary Pokemon failed high school geometry or something. I don't get it. I don't know, really the only thing that's interesting about this movie compared to every other one we've watched that has the same fucking plot is for some reason it's anti-land back. For like the 5 people who have watched this, you know what I mean.
It's not a good look.
No, it's not.
But I'm here to talk to you about Arceus and the Jewel of Life. It's the thrilling conclusion to the Sinnoh trilogy of movies. But before I begin, I want to cover the back cover of the manga adaptation, which portrays what looks like Ash's gravestone. So already, this is the best movie so far. Movie starts with Ash and the gang absolutely stealing watermelons from a bunch of skinny dippers. They are then pursued all the way to Machina Town, which is basically a destroyed Pokerome. There, Dialga and Palkia kind of just appear out of nowhere and reignite their beef. We're 10 minutes in, and this movie's already giving us fan fiction energy. Garatina, not wanting to be left out of the fanfic, also shows up and decides about as good of a time to get that good old revenge. And can you see what I mean when I say this is just fanfiction? This is where Kevin and Sheena show up and try to calm down the legendaries by praying. That's right, this is the religious Pokemon movie. Speaking of religion, Arceus shows up and starts raining hellfire down on everything, showing the world the taste of its judgment. Dialga, not wanting to have this happen anymore, decides to send Ash and the gang back in time so humanity cannot make Arceus mad. Somehow, there, everyone but Kevin arrives in Machina Town back in its heyday, so where they're immediately arrested by this man. And this is Marcus, and he's the villain of the movie. And how should I put this? I love Marcus so much. He's basically like evil twink Julius Caesar. I mean, honestly, he's a top 4 Pokemon villain, and he's so cool and so handsome, and I definitely didn't commission OC fan art of his grandson. Anyways, he sends Ash to jail and then talks with Sheena, which honestly, that's kind of the right move on his part. Marcus then asks Sheena if they poured 1,000-degree burning hot metal on God in the future, and she says, no, we kind of just hit him with rocks. So you'll never guess what he does. He pours liquid mercury on Arceus. But unfortunately, Ash likes the world being destroyed or something. I don't know. He wants to save the big horsey, so he kind of gets sidetracked with this one. Blah, blah, blah. He dies. He fails to save Arceus. Is this the end? I feel like it's not the end of the movie.
I guess it is. I don't know.
If anything's more that happens in this one, please let me know, because I don't know.
Well,
God is dead.
yeah, we don't have... so here's the next...
Speaking of things that are dead, the Gen 6 movies, well, we got to the point where we watched them and we're like, God, that was awful. And then we realized the other Gen 6 movies were honestly worse. So we just skipped them. We don't want to do them. We didn't want to talk about them. So, that's the end of the Gen 6
Sorry, that's our panel. Because we don't have the slide with the tier list.
Yay!
It died.
Well, so now you know about the Pokemon movies, so you don't have to rewatch them, and you can just live off of nostalgia for the rest of your
I love that I
life.
didn't have the font you used downloaded, which is why it's so ugly. Anyway, next panel is Waluigi time. It's not in this room, it's somewhere else. It's at 6. Yeah, 2 sounds right. At 7:30 tonight, Dio did nothing wrong about Dio and all of the not wrong things he's done, because he's a great stand-up dude. And at 9:30 is Anime Survivor, where we put anime characters in a Survivor simulator and see what the fuck happens. Thank you all for coming. If you have any questions about the Pokemon movies, feel free to ask them. If you don't have any questions, don't ask them and leave.
If you want to hear
Or
me
just
say
interact
good
with us.
things.
We like validation.
I want attention.
What are your guys' opinions on
Not from you. Not from you.
What's the question?
Yeah.